Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, and it smells like raid in here. Oh yeah. And nothing quite beats the smell of raid because I'm paranoid about a bunch of fucking spiders coming in through there. I ain't having it. It happens a lot. I mean, we had the house sprayed so that they're not supposed to come in here, but we've done that before, and they still come in there, and I hate spiders. I would love to kill them all, but, you know, you can't really kill them all, because I'm pretty sure there's more of them on this planet than there are people. So you just gotta pick your battles when you can. And with that said, let's get back down to business as we are taking on midfield. I'm not super worried about this one as much as I am the test course. That's gonna be the one that I think is probably going to fry our eggs a little too much. I mean, I like my eggs a little, you know, just as fried as the next guy, but not beyond the point of no return. That's when it's all bad for everybody. And I mean, through the first couple of races, we've been doing pretty good, including our first race being on Laguna Seca, where I executed. I went back and watched this last night. I executed a maneuver that I still have no idea how I came out with it. Because I totally started losing control of my car, and in the midst of it, oh no! And now I have completely lost control of my car, and worn out the tires a fair deal in the process. Miraculously, though, kind of regained composure with a little bit of magic there. That could have easily gone worse than it did. Still not really where I wanted it to be, though. This is not a position that I really want to be in. Just because, up to this point, we have not seen anybody utilize hitting the pit stop yet. And that makes me a little worried. Only slightly, though. Only slightly. And we'll see what happens. Anywho, dude, I saw something today that I totally didn't even realize that it still even existed. Before I came in here, I was watching TV after the Cavs and Warriors game was over, which totally, you know, giant middle finger to that shit, by the way. Super, super done with the NBA until October. I know there's only going to be one game left anyways, but I've been done with it since the finals started because I knew the Warriors were going to destroy that one. But I decided to turn it to MTV. This is the first time, by the way, this is the first time in recent memory that I... Hey guys, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My camera feed just like totally cut out for absolutely no reason. It had no reason to do it. I had plenty of storage available on it. It just all of a sudden the screen went black and it just went poop and it was done. It actually went poop. So with that said, let's get back down to business. So yeah, I willingly went to MTV for the first time in I don't even know how many years. It has been such a long time since I've willingly gone there for anything, because I saw that Fear Factor was on, and I initially thought that they were like, you know, rerunning the old ones that, you know, Joe Rogan was hosting, or, you know, for those of you that aren't familiar with the show Fear Factor, I'll run it down for you because that show is so much fun to watch. There's something so cool about watching people confronting their fears in a variance of ways. Basically, it's a game show where you get, I think it's like four teams of 2, and they have you do all these, you know, crazy challenges ranging from, you know, eating strange items to, you know, blindfolding yourself and you know, dealing with you know, with like animal-based fears like, you know, bugs and snakes and bees and whatever, to things, you know, addressing crippling acrophobia or claustrophobia type of stuff, and then just like weird daring stunts. There's just a whole range of that, and if you can complete all of them and you know, and confront your fears and all that crap, then you win the grand prize of 50K, and if you can't do it, then obviously you lose. And so I used to watch that all the time when it was on, you know, when it was on the regular cycle, I think on like NBC. But this one, they decided to revive it just recently, and it's now being hosted by Ludacris, which actually not a bad fit. Not a bad fit. He's kind of got a little bit of that same personality that Joe Rogan has, where You know, they know when to kind of come in with, you know, the high intensity and the high energy, and they know when to crack a joke here and there. But the one that I was watching, I didn't see the very first challenge, or actually no, I did. It was you had to go bobbing for snakes. Bobbing for snakes. I mean, I don't have a crippling fear of snakes. Like them, but I'm not the kind that's gonna, you know, if I even catch a visual of one, that, you know, my entire brain just goes into topspin and I, you know, start reciting things in tongues while I'm, you know, curled up in a ball on the floor. Not quite like that, but they had, you know, they had to dip their face into just like this tub of snakes and try to see how many they could pull out with their mouth and put them into this, you know, into this thing. And oh, it was so gross. I did not like any of that. I think the second challenge was worse than the last one, though, where they had to play, it was called Fear Pong, which, we're all familiar with beer pong, aren't we? Basically, they were playing that with 6 cups, and they were all doing it with just, like, these disgusting concoctions of you know, fluids and stuff. I'd try to see if I can remember all of them. There's a few of them I may not remember, but one of them was like curdled milk and Munster cheese curds, which is, like, I love Munster cheese as much as the next guy, but oh, just pairing that with curdled milk just sounds so gross. And there was one that was like, it was like fish juice and ranch dressing, which also just there was this one, in my opinion, was the worst one. It was a century egg, a 100-year-old egg. It was a 100-year-old egg in apple cider vinegar, which, oh, if you've ever had a century egg, that is just one of the most heinous excuses for a food delicacy. If you don't know what that is, one place you can find it, there's a video of a guy eating it. Go to Ashen's channel. It's ASHENS, and I think it's called Chinese Delicacy Special. And he definitely eats 2 of them, and just taking the most minuscule bite out of one of those, he has to leave the camera to go. I don't know if he actually vomits, but he was really close. But, like, it's an egg, and it just, you know, I don't know if it actually sits for 100 years or not, but you crack that thing open, and it's either a really dark green or it's all black on the inside. Eggs are not supposed to look like that. It is heinous. It is disgusting. So that, along with apple cider vinegar, just imagine the pungent aroma and taste of that. It basically just by be like ingesting vomit is really the only thing I can think of with that. It's really bad. There was also mayonnaise and sauerkraut was another one. There was one that was like clam juice and something else. Yeah, I can't remember all of them, but it got to one point where somebody had to do, I think it was the mayonnaise and sauerkraut one, and when she started doing it, every single sip that she took, she'd have to stop and just go, and it finally got to a point where she was getting down to the end of it, and she just puked. She just straight up just Ralphed herself into oblivion, man. It was all bad. Super funny, though. Then the last one was actually really cool, though, where they crowned the champion. It involved the teams driving down a runway, and the windshield was like all blacked out so you couldn't see through it, and the driver of the car was blindfolded. And so the only way that you could, drive is that your partner had, like, an iPad that was, fixated on the outside of the car with a camera, and that was the only way you could see, was just through this little tiny screen of what was going on. And your objective was to direct the other person driving the car so that you could drive up the ramp on a semi-truck. By the way, we're totally not going to win this race. There's no fucking way. Unless these guys go to the pit, which I can't imagine any sort of doomsday scenario in which they would do that, because there's no reason for them to do it. I mean, their tires aren't going to wear down for really any reason, because these turns are so minute, really. Unless the planets align, we're going to get 4th place here. So I'm ready to accept that one. We'll come back with, you know, a better version of this car, and we'll clean the house, and we'll be fine. So I'm okay with taking an L here. It's all good. The only thing that sucks here, though, is that this is gonna hurt our oil a little bit, which I totally dropped the ball on this. Before starting this competition, I totally wanted to get a car wash and do an oil change with this thing, and I forgot to do it. So that's gonna make the last couple races even more strenuous. Oh, good. But anywho, so yeah, you got to drive up the on-ramp on this semi, and then try to, you know, and then go forward, and then there's like this barrier that will stop you in place or whatever. And so it was pretty interesting to watch, because like seeing the difference in strategy of how these two teams went at it in the end, because one of them I totally disagreed with their ideology around how they did it, because both the guys were driving in this situation, and the girl for one team decided that she wanted to give, you know, his instructions for, you know, for turning, you know, based off of the hands on a clock. So, you know, 11 o'clock is a little left, 12 o'clock center, 1 to the right. And so, but the whole time, like, I could see so quickly how frustrating it had to have been being the driver of the car. And I'm not trying to say it to slight women at all. It's just the way that she was saying it. She was just saying it over and over and over again so fast. Like, he started veering a little bit, and she's like, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. And it's like, dude, just calm down. You know? If anything, just, you know, you don't have to yell it at him. He's a foot away from you. Just be just like, you know, a little bit 1, a little bit 1, a little bit 1, even out at 12, even out at 12. You know, go a little bit 11, a little 11. You don't just have to sit here and just say 1 1 1 1, 11 11 11 11 11. Because, like, that's going to make the guy get kind of rattled, because he's going to think that he's way off, and then he's going to start swerving around. And he went off the road once. Whereas the other group of people, they started out really frenetic, but she was just giving standard instructions like, okay, go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the left, okay, stay center, and then, you know, they eventually line it up, and she's just like, gun it, and they were able to go straight up onto the rig, and they won. But the first group totally almost flipped their car twice, because when they tried to go up the ramp of the semi, they went up the thing, and half of their car wasn't even on it. So they totally almost sent themselves off. It was pretty bad. I was like, yeah. That'd be cool, man. Like, there's definitely some of those challenges I would not have been down with it. Like, I've got a fairly sensitive palate, so I think drinking all the gross stuff probably wouldn't have gone too well with me. And I think maybe the bobbing for snakes one I might have been all right. Like, I don't like them. I really don't like them. But I think that I might have been okay there. The driving one, I think, could have been really interesting, personally. And especially because, you know, because this episode particularly was, you know, guys and their girlfriends or guys and their fiancés or whatever. I think that had I been driving with my fiancé giving instructions, I think we could have pulled it off, because we're both like really, you know, we're cool hand Lukes in that situation. Like, I could totally see a scenario where, you know, she's giving directions, but she's doing it very calm and collected, like she's not, you know, screaming at me saying, you're going too far this way, or you're going too far that way, you freaking idiot. You know, I could just see her being like, okay, you gotta go a little bit this way, a little bit this way, a little bit that way, you're good to go, you're good to go. Same thing with me, like, the whole time when I was watching this, I was just like, you gotta give these directions very calm. You can't just be barking out stuff at them, because they can't see what they're doing, you know? Like, when you can't see, like, you're so hypersensitive on, you know, how you're trying to control this thing. Like, they're you know, you could totally tell both the guys were just like this, and their arms were shaking, because they're just like, I don't want to overdo this thing and end up rolling the damn car over, you know, going like 80 miles an hour or whatever, however fast they were going. But super cool, though, man. I'd love to be on a show like that. It's just that I know the only thing that makes me fear about it, obviously, thus the name Fear Factor, is I know at the very moment that they would implement doing things way up in the air, or doing things that would involve me laying down in like a coffin while they just cover me in spiders or something. If that happened, forget it. Forget it. I ain't doing any of that. Like, I could probably eat like maggot cheese or whatever, like, you know, but I don't know about height stuff, and I don't know about getting covered in spiders or scorpions or whatever. Those things I just don't think would really come down with me very well. So the funny thing about this race is that it's literally staying at a constant. This is so weird. Like, ever since lap 1, we've been down by the same exact margin realistically the whole time. It's so weird. We've been kind of at this 3 to 3.2 second deficit really this entire race. And I'm so perplexed by it. It's just weird that, like, we've all kind of hit our top speed, and now it seems like we're all going about 185 miles an hour right now. It's just the entire premise of how this thing kind of found its structure is just the acceleration of the vehicles. Like, the funny thing is had I done a qualifying lap, if I could have maybe, I don't know, maybe if I could have gotten like pole position, we may have won this thing. We're starting to get down by a little bit now. It's almost stretched out about a half a second. This is the moment of truth, though, coming around this corner. I don't really know what to think necessarily, because there's still, I mean, realistically, there's no earthly reason for any of those cars in front of me to hit the pits. But we've seen weirder stuff, man. We saw that damn Viper go in. Granted, the situation was a little different. We were on an actual racetrack that involved, much more use of your tires. But we saw that thing go in, and he had like a 7-second lead on us. So I don't really know what to believe in this game anymore. We will see what happens. This is the moment right here. This magic moment where they all head to the pits for no fucking reason. And then we will run away with first. Nobody's going. Nobody's taking the bait. Or are they? Are they? Are they going? Are they going to do it? Is there even a pit in this damn stage? I don't even know if there even is. They're not doing it. Okay, well, it's nice to know that we have found it. It's nice to know that we have figured out the situation here, and we are guaranteed 4th place, so thus ends our nice little winning streak that we had going on there for a little while. But, can't win them all. If we can win 9 out of 10, I'll take that. I feel like that's a satisfactory deal. This is the only situation that would have made me want to buy that Stage 2 or Stage 3 NA tune-up, because we would have wiped the floor with this. I think we probably would have won that thing running away pretty easily. So, but you know what? I wanted to have the competition. We've had the competition fairly well so far. The first 2 races were certainly very close. Midfield, though, not so much. I mean, we won that comfortably. Would have been by a lot more, even, considering that on the first lap we completely spun out and were able to recover in just about a lap's time. So I'd say, our ability to, dig ourselves out of a hole, not too shabby, man. Not too shabby. I really want to take a drink of this Gatorade right now. I don't know why I haven't done it. I've had so many opportunities on these long-ass stretches to do it, but I've just, I've decided to not do it. I'll take my congratulatory 4th place Gatorade chug here in just a moment, as we come around the home stretch here. Oh yeah, look at her go. God, how many... We've gone 31 miles on just this one race alone. It'll probably end up clocking out at 32, I'll bet. Or maybe just a smidgen more. What a strange distance for a track, by the way. This is going to be, what, 32.3? 0.4? What a weird distance. 32.4 miles. I don't know. Like, we could make this thing 32 miles. That would be a nice, even number. No, Frank. Why would we do that? Who wants to ever have even stuff? Let's make it 32.4. Not 0.5, not 0.2. 0.4. Yes. That'll throw them off nice and easy. Alright, well, we're still leading this thing. I mean, we've still got a nice 9-point lead. Not too bad. I'm not really worried about that so much, because it seems like it's quite the gauntlet down there, that they're, everybody's kind of knocking themselves out, so that doesn't make me feel too bad. But I think we're going to stop right here for the time being, And when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, we have, at this point, we have 6 more races to go. I don't know which 2 are next, so that'll be kind of an exciting... Okay, I thought I had to burp. That face probably looked really weird, but I felt it get to about right here, and then when I tried to eject it into the wall, just nothing. So, yeah, when we come back, we'll see what those next 2 races are. We'll have more stuff to talk about, but until then, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Take it easy. There better not be any spiders out there.